Public? Any comments from the directors?
No.
Any adjustments?
Nothing from me.
Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. Moving to the regular agenda. Item number 10, to receive and act upon staff information regarding the upcoming MCAD Board of Directors election for the term of office January 1, 2024 through December 2025.
All right, this, we are at stage 3 or step 3 of the process. Step 2 last month, Arthur Bredehoff was nominated for the position. Step 3 is to vote for the nominated individual if you so choose.
I nominate Arthur Breederhoff for the position.
Your motion to vote
It's a motion to vote on the resolution. Yeah.
That's your motion to,
to put your votes towards,
Arthur Breederhoff.
correct.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item number 11, the developer update on the Brogan's Mill Village Center.
He's out in the lobby.
There you go.
Okay, taking 12, if y'all want to take 12 first. And I'll come back.
Let's go for it.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's a quick update. Prior to the meeting, I handed out this one sheet. This one sheet, that's an update to the one that's in your packet.
Okay.
What this is at the trustees meeting, a trustee had asked for an update on the drop contingency plan and the potential to implement the state. So this sheet is what we use to look at it internally. So on the far right-hand side, you'll see the different stages, 1 through 4, and the different triggers, 70%, 80%, how many days, so on and so forth. Left-hand side, you're going to see all the data. We've taken the wells that are in service at each of the water plants, their gallons per minute, and then turn those into million gallons per day. Then each day we take that production. So in this case, water plant 1, it says MGD as of 7/12, and it's 2.13 million gallons per day. So we take that 2.13 million gallons per day and compare it to 70, 80, 85, 90, so on percentage. And then if it hits any of those triggers, then we do look back and say, how many consecutive days have we been at 5 million, 6 million, so on and so forth. So just a little bit of explanation, but we have gone through and highlighted the percentages of the total production from each of the plants. Reason we look more at total production than well capacity is because we have surface water coming in. 50% of the demand is met by surface water on a regular basis. So therefore your wells are only operating half of the total production. So water plant 3 towards the middle is the highest production. You can see at roughly 42%. That facility is served by 50% surface water. So if you assume you didn't have 50% surface water, double that to 84%, you would be in stage 3. Besides that, are there any questions on that?
No.
It's very helpful. Thanks.
Thank you.
On the AC water lines, we don't have any update, just information quickly. At the August trustees meeting is when we are going to be presenting a condition-based program, scope of work, as well as a potential cost. So that was requested throughout some of the MUDs last month. If you recall, last month, we brought a potential proposal for $175,000 study. That wasn't in-depth enough, so we're going to bring back an in-depth study and review program, if you will, of a full condition-based assessment.
This would include exhumation, if you will, of some of the pipe.
So what we have is there's 2 items in the scope at this point in time. Option 1 is to do destructive testing.
Okay.
Pull it out, break it, test it, so on and so forth. Second option is non-destructive, various robotics and smart balls and so on and so forth. So we will be presenting all that in August. Both options are included along with the cost. We are looking to make it as comprehensive as possible. One thing is the studies, if you look at them, the studies are just testing the pipe. And it's not just the pipe you want to look at, you want to look at the entire system. So if we bring a study in and say, hey, we're just going to see how long the pipe can last, that may be good, but if the installation had a different standard years ago. It may not last as long as the pipe will. So. Did I
Which has
just
been your experience in that PVC pipe up there on Woodlands Parkway? Installation is the core issue there, right? Okay.
We had just information, we had a water leak off of 242 and Northway on Friday, and that one actually had an 18-inch deflection. So when we cut the pipe, it actually sprung back 12 inches. But when we did the measurements, it was bent 18 inches.
In the horizontal plane.
Horizontal.
Whoa.
Now GRP's always had deflection, but it's been on the vertical since.
Right.
So now we're.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just FYI.
Okay.
Installation's a big concern. That is all we have unless you have any questions.
We'll go back to item number 11, the developer update on the Grogan'sville Village Center.
Sure. Couple things. Dan Coquart's good to see you guys again. First, I'll tell you about Grogan'sville Village Center. We are actively working with the county on a deal that might be struck between us and them to do a land swap. That is progressing. I can't get into a lot of the details with you at this time, but I'll certainly be happy to share them all. I know that everybody saw a early press release that the commissioner put out, so everybody's aware of the property we're talking about swapping down on the waterway. I think it's going to happen. I'd give it about a 98% chance of happening. I think it's going to be good for the county, good for us as well. So they can work out the details. We'll tell you what the details are as soon as I know what they are. So that's what's happening there. Any questions about that before I give you one more
Have
topic?
they started the evaluation check, Ken?
Evaluation.
Yeah, comparing the evaluation.
So there's absolutely, that's exactly what that's the first thing they've got to, they got to work out a deal where it's even Steven. The county can't give, they can't,
Give up
county,
that piece
they
of
can't,
property.
the county can't be taken advantage of. It has to all work out on the financial side. So that's the evaluation of the existing center. the
Dollar for dollar.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's part of what's going on. And then, of course, what's going to actually be built down at Grogan'sville Village Center. And we're going to be actively part of that process as well as a partner with the county on replacing the library and the senior center that's there today. I'm on the fringes of this. I don't get involved in the details too much, but I get a good feeling about it. So we'll see where it goes. That center has been in need of rejuvenation for a long, long time, and we'll see what happens. Rhonda Tro has been our representative here for several months now, several years, actually. She's been with the company a couple, 3 years now. She's no longer with the company. So you'll be seeing me, or you might be seeing Marshall Jordan. He's right here. He's my rep that'll be coming in. We're going to be looking for a new government liaison person. So there may be some musical chairs at your meetings going forward until we settle into a new track. But he's going to give you his card, and you've got my old number. So if you need anything from the developer, call me, call Jordan, and we'll see where our next, see what happens as we move forward with a new employee to replace Ronnie going forward. Any questions at all? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 13, consider an act on the FY 2024 budget for the senior center of River Authority and Woodlands Division.
This is the month where the bud director and trustee don't have vote on the Woodlands Division budget at the August trustees meeting. I do have a few copies of the budget. Nothing has changed in the budget as presented. It's still
The May document. Okay.
it's still a 2% proposed wholesale water rate increase and a 2% wholesale wastewater rate.
No changes at all.
No changes. at all.
Changes it up.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the budget.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
I know how to vote.
Thank you.
I will follow the direction
Thank
of
you.
the board.
I had all of
Glad to hear that.
receive an update on the SJR led Spring Center detention study.
So I get a quick update on that. I presented, I think it's the previous month, and that we have started some communication with the solar company that is out there. So we are continuing that coordination to explore any potential options to kind of coexist solar panel with flood detention on those properties out there proposed for the flood detention reservoir. So there's no agreements. There's not even really a negotiation stage yet. It is through just discussion. So I think that in itself is promising to hear. We also plan in the next couple months to reach out to some elected officials to give them updates on the project and get any input from them. So that's where we're at. And, you know, we'll be continuing to send emails to the funding partners and provide updates here to the as we get more information.
Questions?
Nope.
Thank you. Our attorney's report.
Nice to see you all again. I've met all of you, but I haven't been to one of your meetings in a while. So my name's Katie Blasio. I work with Brian. He's on vacation, so that's why I'm here today. I don't have anything for you this month. I wanted to let you know that next month we'll have a few items on the agenda to discuss the legislative session and some actions we need to take resulting from the session. So the legislative summary that our office put together is up on the Google Drive. It's pretty long summary. It's about 30 pages. So if you want to take a look at it before the next meeting, then we'll be able to answer any questions you have about it at that meeting. That's all I have. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Yes. Review and act on the resolution in support of Jace Houston.
That was brought up last month. It's been a document that was started a couple months ago. And it was on about half the agendas last month, and it's on all the agendas this month for all the MUDs.
Is it the Bob Lilac?
On the plate. It's, there's a couple districts that have agreed to proceed, one that has not, and 3 that are deferring it because they're just not quite sure they really want to do it. The main questions that are coming about is just what's the purpose of it, and is the timing really right? Those are the main kind of questions that I'm hearing.
Valid questions.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Questions, comments?
Well, I do think we need to end this nonsensical litigation.
I agree with that. That's what the
mean-
Resolution's about.
Well, it's right there.
That was another comment is part of this was to kind of show support for Jace, but then it starts talking about litigation, which has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Exactly, that's my point.
So there's some differing,
Yeah,
what's
that's,
the purpose,
yeah.
just some of the comments that I'm hearing.
So you guys want to,
It's not a clean resolution is the issue. It's, just, yeah, I read through it. I had some comments on it. Because there are some other entities potentially that you could include. But, anyway, I would propose we defer.
Second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so let's fix the deferring.
Okay.
Is there a timetable on the deference?
I would,
What I've shared with a couple of the others that have deferred is the 2 that are going forward. They did suggest that they wanted to make some changes, and perhaps I can share the results of those changes with the folks that have deferred to see if that changes your direction.
That'd be
Yeah.
I'd
fine.
be happy to do that.
yeah,
Please.
that'd be great.
when it
Very
gets-
helpful.
Okay, sounds great. General Manager's report?
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. Just a few items to talk about. The trustees instructed me to write a letter of commendation to Jace Houston, which I completed and then also read aloud at the last SJA Board of Directors meeting. That was received very, very nicely from the board, so I think that went well. I wanted to update you on the Lone Star Groundwater Conservation District has selected their new GM. I believe the name is Sarah Kuba, perhaps. Not exactly sure
How you pronounce that?
Yes. So be looking forward to meeting her and working with them. Point out a couple customer service satisfaction in your packet. I always like hearing those and sharing those with y'all. It's nice to hear that our staff is being met with some kind words from our customers. I did want to bring up the pictures that I passed out. We have a little bit of a situation we want to kind of talk about. So in these pictures, right around where the cones are, there was a water line break. This is South Red Cedar Circle.
That's
It's a little private kind of alley drive that connects the driveways of a number of different houses. The concrete drive, private concrete drive, obviously was pretty damaged during the repair. When we go into some of these, what we try to do is limit the repair to the concrete by tying back into the usable concrete of the driveway or the street that's adjacent to it. In this case, as you can see from some of these pictures, particularly some of the latter pictures, the existing concrete
Gone.
is gone. It's this little section was already in pretty bad repair. And it was pretty much falling apart. There's nowhere for us to really tie in. So, to where it would really mean anything. And so we have a quote from our contractor to go in basically and repair the panel, the entire panel that's in that immediate area, to the next joints, of concrete in the driveways to just kind of make it nice and square and clean. That was for $6,900. We think the number is pretty reasonable. Sometimes my understanding is in the past, we've perhaps gone to the local, whoever it affects and ask if they want to share in the cost. This is a private road. It's not really the MUD's responsibility necessarily, although it is our water line that was adjacent to that kind of started at least the breakup on the corner of it. And then it's unfortunate that there's not really anywhere for us to tie back into because of the condition that it already was in.
Right.
So y'all can decide to.
Who owns the property, Eric?
That I don't know who owns the private drive. I don't know if it's part of a homeowner.
I think the guy's a renter. I'm not sure if he's. Because it's private, it's not in the county right away either. We just have an access easement. They just have access
It's
easement.
about 20 by
Water
20,
line.
roughly. 22 by 20, roughly. We tried to minimize that but as you can see in the pictures, the further you go, there's just crack. There's nowhere, no good concrete to really
Tie
have a
into-
nice clean break.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to saw cut on a nice clean break, there's just not an area to do that. So it's about 20 by 20. So we can certainly have it done. That was one idea. The other idea is to just reach out to those two homeowners. One had their house significantly damaged in the windstorm 3 or 4 weeks ago, trees right through it. So they're kind of struggling probably. The other resident seems very nice. We've spoken with them, haven't talked costs with any of them. Just went in to fix the water line and said we'll be working on how to fix the drive.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask if they wanted to know.
Yeah.
I would ask definitely.
I mean, based upon this, I agree that the price sounds great. Having just done my driveway, that's a really good price.
Happy to ask those questions.
I would propose no more than half the repavement cost.
What if they say no? What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Leave it?
Oh.
Well, I don't think that.
You can do the edge.
Well, here's what I would like to see. I'd like to see you go back and find out if they're willing to contribute and then come back to us and tell us.
Come back to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
And we have a full board here too, maybe.
It's fine. We can do that. That'll work.
Thank you.
All right. Last time I had, John is not here. I've had John go in and talk a little bit about the public outreach that we've been doing. I can probably cover some of that for him. On page.
Is that 50?
53.
There we go. 50, yeah, 50 to 53. We're making really good strides in implementing the strategic communication plan. We're making water quality is the Q2 that we've just finished up. Water conservation is the topic for Q3 that we're
Right.
beginning. We are adding in Nextdoor at one of our social media outlets to post information on, not to get involved in blogs and the threads and all that, but just to push out communication. June was actually our third highest hit rate on the website. So that's, and the trends are growing. The last 6 months is growing every month. So
Excellent.
we have about 22,000 individuals that we're sending out the weekly e-blast to, and we're getting about a 56 hit rate on that, which is
Very good.
Very good.
That is outstanding. Yeah.
I would suggest if you're getting those, a lot of folks, we're starting to add a lot of good information below it besides just the irrigation suggestions. A lot of good content below. So we're even thinking about maybe switching things up just so that they don't miss some of it if they're going for the irrigation alone. Because there's some really, and then we're taking some of that data or some of that content and pushing it out into different groups as well, not just on the e-blast. So
Yeah, actually, my wife came to me and said, you might want to consider changing the header on that email from your weekly irrigation update. Because there's a lot more information there.
there is, yeah.
So you might have a visit with John, see what would work.
Will do.
Okay.
Let's see what else. One of the other things that we're wanting to try to plant the seed with all of the directors is, as we get into the later part of this year, we're going to be evaluating the 2024 strategic communication plan.
Yeah.
And so part of that process is to identify the topics that we want to hit next year. We also are very close to, we received 5 RFP or statement of qualifications and proposals from 5 PR firms. WWA, as well as some of the PEC, reviewed those, gave our input to SGRA. SGRA is going through their evaluation of the PR firms and will make their recommendation. And I believe it will go before the SGRA board on August 24th. So we would hope to start working with them in September. But also as part of that goes as well, there's probably going to be some community surveys just to better understand what topics are resonating, what aren't, where are some gaps. And so that's where y'all come in sometimes. It's just to talk to your community. What are you hearing? What do they need? What information is not getting through, or are there some questions that we could implement in either the strategic communication plan or as part of the PR campaign, which will really kind of feather nicely together. So just wanted to plant that seed with you all. But other than that, I think that was.
I had one question there. Back on your report, UMCR 5, was there any lead found in mud 6 at all?
Sampling's still going on. Sampling's going on until September.
Yeah. How are you determining?
2 different kinds of sampling. Water sampling now for lead and copper in the water. And then we're going to have an inventory of these service lines that are lead-based services. We have a few.
Thanks, Harry.
So we're taking homeowner information and MCAT information to see prior to 1988, when homes were built, which homes were built, we're plotting those all out.
Yeah, but with mud 1 and mud 6 having it, or 36, I would think we would have some.
You would have some. Beautiful.
88's that target.
Well, they tested my water. They left me a little sample.
Tested my water too.
Thank you. Trustees report?
Well, not a lot. report on. I think it's pretty much covered. It's always good to see Arthur stop by and visit, talk about Region H. He'll be back next month at the next trustee meeting. I think we've already covered where we're at in the budget and with SJA Woodlands Division. Well, there's more information coming on the AC water lines, as you know. The new billing system was approved, in case you're wondering about that. And yeah, Eric's already covered the Public Education Committee meeting last week on the SJRA RFPs, so we're squared away there.
And the 2024 WWA salary budget was approved
Oh, yeah,
by the trustee.
good point, right.
Essentially, the summary is the 2024 budget will be about $150,000 less on the 2023. That's mainly due to the removal of the overlap between Gemini that was in there this year,
Mhm.
as well as another position that we're looking to not fill. And then, of course, it had merit and CPI increases for those employees that were here. So that the net effect was about $150,000 decrease.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
No reason for us to convene in executive session?
No.
You think so? Any matters for next month's agenda? All right. That being said, meeting adjourned.
You're right.
I told you.